The Scripps Howard Foundation is proud to honor excellence in in-depth television and cable reporting. Winner of the Jack R. Howard Award for local coverage, KNTV in San Jose, California, for Inside Sysco, exposing North America's food sheds. An investigation by Vicky Nguyen, Kevin Nious, David Paredes, Felipe Escamilla, Jeremy Carroll, Mark Villarreal, and Julie Putnam. The food you eat today may be safer because journalists at a TV station in San Jose followed up on an anonymous tip. The caller had tried for years to encourage Sysco Corporation to stop storing raw meat, produce, and milk in unsanitary, unrefrigerated sheds. In frustration, he asked KNTV for help. It seemed unlikely a multi-billion-dollar company, the world's largest food distributor, would cut such a risky corner. But to check it out, Kevin Nious hid a small GoPro camera outside a storage locker identified by the caller. Video captured that summer night led to a local story about the transfer of perishable food from a big rig to shed to the trunks of sales reps' cars for delivery hours later at restaurants, hospitals, and schools. Though Sysco denied the sheds were a problem, the KNTV team kept digging and identified 14 more operations in Northern California. This time, Sysco insisted the units were an anomaly, but former and current Sysco employees, emboldened by the reporting, shared their stories and their records. As months passed, the station discovered Sysco's overheated, vermin-infested units across the U.S. and Canada, and public health agencies throughout North America conducted investigations of their own. The company with the motto, "Good things come from Sysco," has since admitted it used sheds off-limits to health inspectors and paid a $19.4 million settlement with the state of California.
She was unflinching, tenacious, and tough, taking on the world's largest food distributor.
What I really liked about this entry was the boldness and the thoroughness by which they went and looked into an issue that is universal for us.
This is a story about public safety, it's a story about moral outrage, and it's a story about some courage from a relatively small television station that took on a big, big publicly traded company that had a lot to lose.
Brian Lawler, Scripps Howard Foundation trustee and Scripps Senior Vice President of Broadcasting, presents the Jack R. Howard Award in the television and cable category for in-depth local coverage and $10,000 to the I-Team at KNTV in San Jose. Accepting is Vicky Nguyen.
Thank you. Everything has a mark. Wow, we've never gotten to see the judges' comments, and it's very rare that you get to see a behind-the-scenes look. So we just want to start, obviously, by thanking everyone here. It really is an honor for us to be amongst the journalists being recognized tonight. Thank you to the judges, and of course, to the Scripps Howard Foundation for supporting journalists of today as well as journalists of the future, because as it's been mentioned up here, it can be tough going out there, and this is an incredibly high honor, but it's also an incredibly generous prize. I think as journalists, we all know that feeling when you get a tip and it's just too crazy to be true, and generally it was, but in this case, it wasn't. And I remember when Kevin Nious raced to my desk. He ran track in college. Just look at him. He just looks fast just standing there. He raced to my desk, kneeled down, and in a really low voice said, "I just got a call, and they told me that Sysco Corporation is storing food in outdoor lockers." And I'm thinking, Sysco? I thought that was a software company. We work out in the Silicon Valley, so the first Sysco that comes to mind is Cisco. And then he's like, no, Sysco, Sysco. And I thought, okay, well, that's crazy. Outdoor lockers with milk and raw chicken and pork and produce, are you sure? So that launched a series of weeks of 2 a.m. wake-up calls where we essentially went out, rented sheds, rigged surveillance cameras, used GoPros, used iPhones, and used a lot of intern hours to help us figure out what the heck was going on, because we knew we couldn't go out there unless we had proof. And video, a picture is worth 1,000 words, and in this case, it was worth about $20 million when we got this video. But interns were moving boxes back and forth for countless hours, just trying to get an eye on what was in the shed, across from Sysco's shed, in all of these various locations. And as you heard in the video, we're a local television news station, and local or national, at some point, the resources dry up. But our station was committed to this story, and our teammates were committed to this story, and it took a lot of man-hours to document what little video that you see there. And eventually, it all panned out, and it led to what you saw. We wanted to make sure that we documented this with beyond a shadow of a doubt. And a year later, when the district attorneys announced the settlement they negotiated, it was a big surprise to us as well. We didn't realize what was going on behind the scenes after the health department stepped in. Obviously, Sysco admitted right away that they had these sheds, they shut them down, but they kept trying to minimize the scope of what was happening, and the sources who stepped forward were really brave. And, you know, it's not often we get to say, the system worked. And in this case, we really feel it did. It started with the trust of the sources and the whistleblowers who came to us and said, we've tried other channels to stop this. We want you guys to help us. And we have this platform, and we were able to use our resources to do that. And then it went to the authorities, and they secured this fine, and Sysco is paying restitution, they're paying penalties, and they're making donations of food that wasn't stored in sheds to California food banks. So we're proud to say the system worked, and all of this really combined to stop a multi-billion-dollar publicly traded company from doing the obvious, right? Not storing food intended for millions of people across North America in outdoor, dirty, unrefrigerated sheds. So we really feel we have an incredible opportunity as journalists to provide a voice to the voiceless and hold the powerful accountable. And we're really grateful to be in a room with so many of you to celebrate your work that is also doing that. So on behalf of NBC Bay Area, we really thank you all for this deep honor.